Impact TV presents Live to You in America, communicating through programs and services to inform, educate, enlighten, and enrich the entire world.
Welcome viewers. Today is another day on Impact Hour, and today we are here on a topic that is very tasteful but also not really discussed. And this afternoon I'm here with the panel from our last discussions, and then we are going to talk about that very interesting and very tasteful topic. And this is Impact Hour, brought to you by courtesy of Believers Temple of Praise and Destiny Impact Worldwide Incorporated. Stay tuned and we'll be right back.
Fulfilling destiny depends on the choice you make in life. Make a choice today. Join Destiny Impact Worldwide Inc. Watch Impact Hour on Back TV and live stream this Saturday at 1 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Hosted by Dr. Harriet Ajay. And your life will never be the same. Destiny Impact Worldwide Inc. Shaping lives to fulfill purpose.
Welcome viewers back to Impact Hour, and today we are, like I said earlier on, we are going to discuss on a topic that is very interesting, tasteful, and that is not really discussed, like I said. And I'm here with my panel one more time. On my immediate left is Apostle Dr. Maxwell Opoku-Afrane from Christ Liberation Church Ministries International.
That's right.
And he is based in Florida now, and they have a branch in Ghana. And next to him is my dear sister, Prophetess Benedicta Kumsin, Vice President of Destiny Impact Incorporated Worldwide, and also a worshiper at Harvest Chapel. And next to Benedicta, it's Pastor Ben.
Yes.
That is the senior pastor for Harvest Chapel International. In Rosedale, New Jersey here. Panel, welcome back to Impact Hour.
Thank you. Thank you.
We are still in the Valentine mood. That's why I'm wearing my red. You too, you are wearing your red. And Benedicta has a bit of reddish, and I know Pastor has finished with Valentine. But every day is Valentine for Pastor Ben. Yeah. So we are still in a mood of love and everything. But we are like, last time that we met, we were talking about relationship and what entails in relationship and factors that are associated with divorce and all other things. And we landed on lack of intimacy in marriage or relationship, which also contributes to divorce. And the percentage was high in terms of marriages and relationship. So there were questions that viewers posed to us and other things that came through. And I want us to discuss today on sexual intimacy. Viewers, sexual intimacy in a relationship or in marriage. And I'll go straight to the point, and I'll start with you, Pastor Ben, as always, as I do. I'll start with you. Why is sexual intimacy very important in marriage or relationship?
Very good. I think it goes without saying that the human being is made and contains certain elements that needs to be satisfied. We have already established the fact that marriage is something that God instituted. And sexual intimacy is one of the integral things that is required to make a relationship strong. I believe, it goes without saying that there are other levels of, what we describe as intimacy. We talked about this last time. We talked about different types of intimacy. Even when you talk about sexual intimacy, there are levels of sexual intimacy. And I'm sure with time, as we go along, we'll talk more about it. But what comes to mind is the fact that, sex is, or sexual intimacy is an integral part of what makes as bond as a couple. And I want to, backstep and just confirm that this is in a relationship of marriage where a man and a woman have gone through the process and legally, customary, and all the three legs of marriage has been fully ratified, and they are considered as husband and wife. Outside of that, we don't, promote sex. So in the context of marriage, it is actually something God intended and God, actually put in place for us. To go a little further, I would say there are three areas in which that every couple or a marriage in the sense of sex have to look at it. You look at it from the fact that it is meant for pleasure. Sex is not, something that just happens. We have to plan for it because it is meant to give us pleasure. And you look at Hebrews chapter 13 verse 4, which most people don't like talking about in the Bible, which is the book that we prefer, we refer to as a book of life, talking about the marital bed which is undefiled. And it is a relationship that we create, not only on the bed. If you look at that scripture carefully, the bed that is used there, when you look at the Greek word, koitos, or even the English word coitus, which is intercourse, right? You go beyond just having a normal, platonic relationship. Now you are in the eros, kind of relationship. So you go to the point where you pleasure each other, and then think about it. God also meant for it to be a bond, something that makes the two become one. If you talk to experts, if you talk to people who are well versed in research around the neurological effects or things that happen in the brain, chemicals in our system that operate when we are in relationship, and even in lovemaking, what you call sex, things happen, and God intended for these things to happen to bond us together. Live and cleave. Part of the process of cleaving is our sex life. And then finally, maybe in the third leg of it, we talk about procreation. God in his wisdom, infinite wisdom, when he created man and woman, he gave them an assignment. In Genesis chapter 1, 27, 28, says that, be fruitful and multiply. The process of multiplication comes only through sex. I know science have come a long way. We have developed, building the whole process outside of the natural, man and woman relationship. Creating babies in test tubes and all that. I mean, to help those who are, not exactly, naturally capable. It's great. But the intention of God, as we can see in Scripture, are three: pleasure, building the bond, and then procreation. That's right.
Wow. Viewers, we are still on sexual intimacy. That is the topic for today. And as you remember, we're coming from relationship, marriages, and other things that we'll talk about. And sex is also a very important thing in marriage. You can't take sex out of marriage. And sometimes we think that talking about it is a taboo or something. But like Pastor Ben was saying, God created sex for intimacy, for bond, for procreation, and for pleasure. So you can't take sex out of a relationship. So today we are talking about sexual intimacy in a relationship or in marriage. And I'll go to you, Apostle Doctor. What are your views on this issue? Like when people say that, oh, you can marry, but sex is, you can decide to have sex or not. So why do you think it's important to have sexual relations?
Right. Like Pastor Lai have really exhaustively said, I think sex is marriage. Because The only thing that separates the single from the married ones is sex, according to the Bible. It says that even when for fornication, because of fornication, marry. Or secondly, say if you will burn, you say then marry.
You burn.
If you burn, I mean, you know. The Bible used that strong word. It's not easy. It's like fire will burn you.
Fire will burn you. Something will be going through your body.
That kind of thing. So, if somebody say that I am married to you or I have something to do with you, you know, then it's sex. You know, and let me put it this way: if somebody says that he's divorced with you, or he has divorced you, or two couples say they are divorced, what don't they do? You can give that ex-wife money or ex-girlfriend or boyfriend money. You can visit. You can do all sort of things. But the only thing you don't do, that he says I've broken with you, I'm not doing anything with you, I'm divorce you, is sex.
So no sex.
So yeah, that is the only thing you don't do. The moment you begin to do that, then the marriage or whatever the relation is back. So that is why I say that the intimacy, sexual intimacy, is the highest intimate act that brings people closer. It can be done without intimacy or could be done with intimacy. But whichever way you take it, you know, brings the two of you together. I believe that even if you have something to do with anybody or you have sex with anybody and you die and go to heaven, when you see that person, you know that this one, I have something to do with the person. It's so eternal that in our language they say jantadada when you saw sona, you know, lamomo jofe, like that kind of stuff. If the thing has happened between the two of you, it brings the bond, and that bond is eternal. You can't forget about it. You understand? So back to what I said, marriage is sex. The Bible says that for this cause, the Bible says they shall be one. Because the Bible says when you join yourself, whoever join himself with a harlot is one. For this matter, he said they shall be one. So the oneness in marriage, one of the things that makes the oneness bonding, oneness come, is sex. Is sex. And to just add a little to the procreation, it's okay. You know, even everybody can give birth, and it doesn't take too much to give birth. You get what I'm saying? Yeah. You just get to they are sexually viable. They can give birth. But when the bond, it is yeah, a lot of the bond could be there, either spiritually, physically, or emotionally, or whatever. To some people, we have soul ties because we, you know, have sex, so the tie is there. Good. But the pleasure side is where the problem is. The pleasure side is where, if there is anything we need to talk about,
the pleasure.
Is the pleasure side.
We'll come to that
it's
point.
The pleasure side, because the Bible says, "Let the breast of the wife of your youth satisfy you." That is pleasure of thing. So I believe that in my own definition, or from the biblical point of view, one of the holding strength and power that keeps marital people and even unmarital people together is the highest intimate act.
Sex.
Sex.
Wow. It reminds me of something that when we were growing up, I remember the adults used to say that even when you fight with your spouse, the only thing to mend the fighting is sex. Yeah. So once you get into the bedroom and then, or even in the kitchen or wherever you want to, and then you jump start it, everything is okay. So back to you. Viewers, this is Impact Hour and we are discussing sexual intimacy. Like the page, Back TV, subscribe it to YouTube, share the page, share the page, share the page. Back to you, Prophetess Benedicta. how then can we let ourselves go? Because like we are talking about intimacy and sex, and like it's a bond. So how can we, or as spouses, how can we let ourselves go? So, or like be free to get into the act and the intimacy. How can we do that? Since we want to bond.
Thank you, my president. This is where the program, a little program also is. To let ourselves go. It's between the both, you know, how they do things, you know. Sometimes you are not, if you are not careful, you know, I see that if one is selfish, you know, then you see that they will end it and you don't feel nothing. You can't let yourself go. And so I don't know if it's how you create or you started a thing. I don't know, but I was asking one of my spiritual father in Ghana that how can you let your spirit go? Because sometimes, you know, you feel that your spirit is coming out from you, you know, and you are struggle with it and it make you uncomfortable on your bed. How do you let your spirit go?
You are too spiritual.
I mean, yeah. So how do you let it go? You know, that's what I'm saying, that it depends the person. You know, some of them is too, like you're saying, it's too stiff and too spiritual. I don't know. I don't know. But, you know, it's like, do this. It's like, I don't want to do this. I don't want to do that. I don't want to do that. Too tight to the standard. By the time you finish, you yourself, you didn't feel nothing. And one of them was, you know, satisfied because, you know, I mean, he or she let it go. You know, so it depends, you know. So I'm saying that we Christians, sometimes we have to allow ourselves, you know,
to let it go.
Yes, because sometimes, you know, especially the women, you know, I don't know if where we're coming from or something.
Bring
like
it
that.
out.
You know, we don't, it's like, oh, if I do this, maybe my husband would think that I'm too spoiled or something like that. Let it go. I mean, you know.
Let yourself be free.
Be free. Be free.
Liberation.
Yes, please. Thank you.
Liberation. Oh, wow. Thank you, viewers. We are discussing I said tasteful topic, and at the same time, we don't want to talk about it. But today on Impact Hour, producers want us to talk about it. Viewers want us to talk about this because it's part of a relationship. It's part of marriage. You can't take sex, intimacy out of marriage. So share the page, go to Back TV, share the page, go to YouTube, share the page, like the page, go and share, keep on sharing. And then we will be right back in 30 seconds.
Something big is coming soon to a screen near you. Real time with AB. Coming soon to Back TV and live stream. Streaming live on Facebook. Believers Temple of Praise. Only real recognizes real.
Welcome back, viewers, to Impact Hour. This is your host, Dr. Harriet, and I have my panel with me here, Pastor Ben from Harvest Chapel International, New Jersey, Roselle, and Prophetess Benedicta Kumsin from Harvest Chapel, Apostle Dr. Maxwell Fukwafrani from Florida, Christ Liberation Church International. We are sponsored by Believers Temple of Praise, 55 Fuller Street in Somerset, New Jersey, and Destiny Impact Worldwide Incorporated. And back to our topic, sexual intimacy. Please like the page, go to Back TV, go to YouTube, share the page, like the page, and bring in your comment. I'll be reading the comment very soon. Last time that we met, people send in their comments, and I'll be reading the comments that you send in. You can send in your comment. You can also send in a concern that you want us to address. If you want to come on Impact Hour, you are also welcome. At the end of the show, we'll put our numbers there. You call the producers, and then you can come on the show. Now back to you, Pastor Ben. I'm on you because today I want to take my time. From the last word that you said, that intimacy, God created, or sex is to bond us, to bring pleasure. I won't go to procreation because I'm not there. I'm talking about pleasure and bonding. So let me ask you, sex itself is an act.
That's right.
It's something, yeah. And so does it mean that to have a bond or to have a strong relation or intimacy with your spouse, does the act itself bring the intimacy or the affection that comes during the act?
That's a very good question. I think there are a couple of things that we need to consider when we talk about the act of sex, right? Whether it's ACT, act, ART, art. Okay. So the whole subject of sex is not just a physical thing, right? It's not just about, jump on someone, hump, and we're done. Whether, you get satisfied or not. That's not just what we're talking about. But the bonding aspect of it has to do with your emotional attachment. Of course, the physical act is part of the process to make, the whole bonding solidified or strong. But in order for us to gain the full benefit of this process, that it is godly, right? I think, this goes to the point about whether you let yourself go or not, or whether you understand what it is that you are trying to achieve, at the end of the day. When we come into the relationship with preconceived ideas about what sex is supposed to be like, right? Say, you have watched movies, you've seen scenes of, an act, right? Now you are performing and you are thinking about what you have seen, and you think this is how it's done, and it is not producing the result that you're looking for. So the bonding that we're talking about may not necessarily be applying to you. Now, again, I want to, stay on the side of caution that we're talking about this in the terms of marriage. So there are other things that we do to create the bond of marriage, the oneness. But yes, sex is an integral part. We are saying that in order for us to have that complete bond, both on an emotional level, the spiritual level, the physical level, sex is part of it. Man by nature has a desire. And I'm not talking about the masculine, I'm talking about mankind. By nature has a desire. We are made to hunger. We are made to have passion. We are made to feel, to have emotions. And all these things need to be satisfied. One of the means by which we satisfy is the intercourse. But then before we even get to intercourse, there is something we are doing from the beginning of the day.
At the outer course.
Right? The outer course. Yes. I like that. The outer course, right? So throughout the day, what are we doing to get ourselves to the intercourse point? Right? When the act of sex or the act of love making, we're talking about it. We're talking about the coitus, and then the relaxation.
Wow.
Right.
Pastor, can you go back? Because these are powerful words.
You're talking about the foreplay, right, which is pre, and then you talk about coitus, which is the actual act of intercourse, and then you talk about relaxation, where now both on both ends have reached orgasm or ejaculated, and then you are relaxing, right? I think that in every sense of the word, right, both the act and the art, right, we have to learn.
Wow.
No one is born an expert in making love. No one. And when you come into a relationship, having watched movies and having a fantasy about, okay, I've seen people having sex and they look like they're into it, and so it's going to happen like that to me. No, it doesn't happen like that. we make a conscious effort. You know, I'm sure we'll come to, you know, more details about this, but at the end of the day, don't come to the, you know, whether it's the bed, the kitchen, whatever it is, the act of sex, you know, with the intention of coming to satisfy yourself. Part of letting yourself go is understanding that I am going to satisfy this person.
Oh.
So you lose yourself, become vulnerable enough to be in a position to please the other person. I think it's Paul who said it, you know, very well, that in 1 Corinthians chapter 7, I believe from 3 to 5, talking about yielding ourselves to each other. Because number one, my body, since I am married, I said I do to someone, I made a vow to give my body to that person. So I don't have control over my body anymore. She has it. Likewise, I have control over her body. So I am pleasing the body that belongs to me in this act, in these 3 steps. Foreplay, and maybe we'll talk about, you know, more about that, right? And then the act itself, where, you know, we want to talk about different things you do in order to, you know, create the adventure, create the, I don't know if I should say adrenaline or, you know, but, you know, create the moment, right?
Let
in
the
a way,
environment be inviting.
create, you know, an act that you can reminisce, you can, you know, think about in your relaxation mode, because that's when now you've gotten to the point where everyone has got into the orgasm. I mean, the woman has got into orgasm, the man has gone into ejaculation. If you come with that in the back of your mind, more than, you know, 50% of the time, you are going to be both satisfied.
Great.
That's my father.
Wow, this is very educative and very interesting. And like Pastor, you were talking, I will follow up this question with you.
Sure.
Since you are talking about these issues. You know, since we cannot take sexual intimacy or sex, or we call it love making, from a marriage or from a relationship, let me say from a relationship or whatever you choose to call it, why is it then that we don't really talk about it? Or let me phrase it this way, where has the church missed it?
I think that there are a lot of reasons why the church seems to have missed it.
Because honestly, I wasn't told all these things in counseling or whatever you go through. So you get into it and you are like, let's pray in tongues. Let's pray in tongues first, or let's pray, let's fast before we. So where has the church missed it?
You nailed one of it, you know, right on the head about counseling, right? And the point I want to make about counseling is that every pastor is not a counselor. Every pastor is not a counselor. And so pastors must learn, if you want to do it, then learn to do it. Don't do it because you have the title of pastor. Because there are things that people have researched, put things together, you know, principles that you learn to teach. Okay, that's one. Two, sometimes the culture in which we're coming from hinders us from talking about this subject. You know, I realize that, you know, even on this panel, we are hesitating a little bit to use the word sex. We are hesitating a little bit to even talk in details about what it is, right? Because of where we are coming from. You grow up in an environment where, you know, before you get married, you know, that word is, you know, a taboo, right? And in some of our, you know, ethnic backgrounds, there are things that are done before you get married. When you are ready to marry, you know, whether a woman is taken by some elders of the, you know, elderly woman to teach her what to do and all that, right? The church doesn't do that. Or the church have not been doing that. I think now it's getting, you know, back to it. But we make the word so, you know, dirty that it's difficult to mention it from the pulpit. It's difficult to talk about it from the pulpit. Fine. The church is made up of, different people. Maybe that subject.
Or whatever religion it is.
Yes, well, yeah. And so it's not easy to talk about it for everyone. But we should have couples meetings where we can be free to talk about these things. And even premarital counseling. We must emphasize that in the church. It is very important, how is it that, I think last week or so, Apostle was talking about the fact that people go to school to get a doctorate, right?
Yeah.
People go to,
to get a degree.
A degree. But you marry, you don't do nothing. You just, I'm ready for marriage. I feel like, I'm burning.
I'm getting old.
I'm getting old.
Yeah. My parents are pushing me and all those things, right? But we must learn. We must, train ourselves. We must have counseling. We must have, conversations. The church must rise to the point where, we rather become preventive than, try to heal when the problem has started, because there was no education in the church before people get married. I don't think the church is missing out per se. I think it's just the way some of us were brought up and we are in the church. So our background is kind of hindering the church from being able to talk about these things. Let me share a joke with you. A couple married, I don't want to mention the church, this is real. And the night of the honeymoon, every culture, some way, somehow, expects that something happens that night.
Yeah.
And in some cases, in the morning, they come to knock the door and check on,
some take the sheet.
Yes, to show whether it was a virgin or not, and all those things.
There was something.
Right? So they wake up in the morning after the man has done, all righteousness, fulfilled all righteousness. The woman, the man was deep asleep and he felt the hand of the wife on him. And he opens his eyes, stretches and looks at the wife, and she was kneeling by the bed, ready to pray for forgiveness for what they have done. And this is the mindset, this is the mindset. It's wrong, it is demonic, it is, sensual, it is...
Some of them was
flesh.
Yes, you are carnal and all that. But in the context of marriage, it is honorable. Why does Solomon spend so much time to talk about, things to do to make your life romantic? It's in the Bible.
Yeah.
Paul, or whoever it is that we say wrote the book of Hebrews, why would he say that the bed is undefiled? The married bed is undefiled. If the act defiles you, then it is wrong. But if the act doesn't defile you,
then it's great. Thank you very much. I know Asabia, you are watching. Sewa Koto, you are watching. Evangelist Beatrice, you are watching. And Daniel Samuel Lyon. He has Abigail Bediakon. And let me read some comments here. Asabia, you are laughing, right? Asabia is laughing. I don't know what we said that made her laugh. And she's saying that this is an interesting topic. We need to hear more of these. And viewers, we are still on sexual intimacy in marriage, and we'll take a quick break. When we come back, I'll come to you, Apostle, on the same issue where the religious body or the church is not doing well in communicating this aspect of life in marriage, and we'll talk more about it. Okay. So viewers, this is Impact Hour. We'll be with you in 30 seconds, and we are sponsored by Believers Temple of Praise in Somerset, New Jersey, and Destiny Impact Worldwide Incorporated. And share the page on Back TV. You can share the page on YouTube. And subscribe, and then keep on watching. We'll be right back in 30 seconds.
Experience an atmosphere of worship, pure worship, with Nana Osei, the Worshipers album launch award-winning on April 14, 2019. Courtesy BB Events and HTMP at 3 p.m. sharp at Tom Ring Hotel, East Legon, Accra, Ghana. Special performances: Randy Ajimai, Pastor Isaiah, Sisi Chum, Reverend Mary Ganser, SP Kofi Sapong, Francis Amu, Ohima Messi, and Stacey Amawi, author of The King's Choice. For more information, call 0263 159 382 or 0203 299 538. This is an event you don't want to miss. See you there.
Help me sing.
Welcome back to Impact Hour. This is your host, Dr. Harriet, and I'm here with my panel one more time. And now, Reverend Beatrice is saying, God bless you. And one name here, Desiree. Say, God bless you all. Florence Ngobe, clapping and screaming. And Mommy, Daniel said, Mommy, you look sweet. What? This is Street, please.
That's my son.
That's your son, right? And then I'll go back and read more of your comments. And back to you, Apostle. I was saying that where has the religious body or the church gone wrong in talking about these things? Because Pastor Ben was saying that our background also shapes our thinking and the way we talk about issues. But since this is very important thing in marriage, and this also has caused other couples to divorce, and the rates being high because of lack of sexual intimacy, how can the church turn around? There are two questions. Where have we gone wrong with this issue, and how can we turn it around?
Okay, thank you. I think Pastor have shared very extensively on this, but just to add a little, it still boils back to education. I mean, learning is the key to progress in life. I mean, if even the Bible teaches that the older women should teach the younger women how to, love their husbands. But when it comes to sex, culturally, we've been taught even not to call spade spade. And we bring it into the Lord or into the church. But there are a lot of things we bring culturally into the church that the church shapes. Because the gospel is transcultural. I mean, it cuts across cultures, and the culture that is not good, it takes it away. That which is good, it holds it and then makes it better. So, but sex, it has always been, it has remained sacred, something not to touch. I mean, when you get there, whatever you know to do, you do, and stuff like that. But not forgetting that one of the great things that has brought divorce to the church is sex. A lot of divorce, by the time you realize that it is not being done properly. It's not being done the way it's supposed to be done. Both men and women are not getting satisfied. You know, but this is one thing, like you said, it is used to solve problems. And the married life it pivots around sex. You know, it is all that makes it holding and binding and, you know, thing. And the reason why it is the way it is because the church is not teaching it enough. There's no enough teaching down to the earth, enough teaching. You just get up and go to marriage. Even in counseling, sex is handled the last part of the counseling sessions when you are about to marry. It is not even, those who teach it even don't know what it is all about. They just mention few points, but the great book, as I call it, the book of life, as Pastor Lai calls it, has everything in it that teaches from the nitty-gritty, from the beginning to the end. You know, it is everything is there. So I would encourage the clergy to learn more about marriage and also when it comes to the topic of sex. The clergy must also learn to the highest institutes. And also counselors that what do you call it, as elected and selected in the church should really go down to the earth. I've once also said that premarital counsel is very much important, but when we join them together, it's hard time. Very few, I've not even seen some before though, when the pastor calls the couple and asks them, how are you doing? What's going on? How is your sex life? So that, you know, the pastor didn't have that opportunity. So he doesn't even know that that's what is supposed to go. You know, coming back to sex, it is all, it is not just getting a man, a woman, and just like Pastor Lai would say, he used the word pump, pump, pum, 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 and then you think, let me tell you, it takes a woman to tell a man that you did well. If there is no way a man should sit somewhere, I did it, I'm good. No, until the woman comes up to tell her, ah, Kwabra, you are good. You understand that? And sex is all about orgasm. It is all about orgasm. I mean, you have to get your spouse or your wife or husband or whoever there. It is not for procreation. Procreation, you got it there. The thing got in, whether you like it or not, it went in. And then the baby came. All that the wife came to tell you that, hey, I missed my period. And then give you, you did well. But when it comes to the bonding and the marriage bonding or the covenant, I call it the covenant side. So far we are doing it. We have started doing it. It binds. But where the problem lies is the pleasure thing. But the pleasure thing, little did men know that, I mean, our ancestors and culturally, I mean, we're not taught that you get into a woman, the woman must climax or must reach orgasm. You get to the point. I mean, a man will say that but I mean, tell yourself I'm coming. There is no what you call romance.
No foreplay.
Hold on. It's like what? 10.
You know, many a times, like when you get into the
People are laughing in the studio here.
I think the bed is defiled right from there. The bed is defiled right from
when you say down.
Say down. I mean, tell yourself. I mean, and then he jumps on you.
Romance me.
Whether let me share a joke. There was this lady that I heard the husband told me. Said that the lady had something called romance. So when he came to the bed, he came to lie down. The camera, come and romance me. But I think it's a give and take thing. Both of us are romancing ourselves to get to that clitoris. What word did you use?
Coitus.
Coitus. Yeah, sorry. Coitus or whatever you call it, you understand. But the man must know that I am here. We are into this to get to a satisfaction. Intercourse is another school on its own. It is not for young boys, and it is not for people who are not ready to really do the act or the act. You know, you really got to get. The ultimate is orgasm, and there are different levels of orgasm. You know, they are different. But you ask a question that the ladies don't open themselves up, or
no, not the ladies, the men.
I'm so come. The men also don't open up. You know, women have different dangerous ways of climaxing. Their climax is deeper than men. And every woman wants to feel comfortable with his what do you call it, mate or spouse. You know, he can't just open up to somebody he doesn't trust, because sooner or later things they begin to do, it's really I mean, you know, so he will not open up to a man that he doesn't feel comfortable with. And for them also to open up to that high height, the man also must be there, must be really romantic to also get the lady or the woman there. To just say this before I end, in sex, hey, the woman should be prepared and ready that I'm ready to make love and also to get to what, to climax. There are some ladies that will tell you that I mean, my climax is in Florida, and we are here in what do you call it, Jersey. I mean, I feel that is left to the woman that doesn't help herself in the thing. He just, like the woman said, romance me. You know, it takes the two of us ready.
Everybody, everybody is laughing.
Ready to do it. Let me say this. I think we want to put the thing down. We don't want to be the kind of clergy that covers some of the things. We are talking about sexual intimacy, and we know the ultimate in sex act is orgasm. You know, the man is easily can ejaculate just like that, and the ejaculation of man is so easy and very simple. But it takes a strong man, a knowledgeable man, a man that knows the kind of body he's dealing with, the woman body. Their climaxes is dangerous. They have different types of simple climax, multiple climaxes. There. No, we don't talk too much about it. We'll talk about it sometimes. So a man should be ready to get ready for all these things. You get what I'm saying? And when he's ready, the Bible says, deal with them according to knowledge. Deal with them according to what? Knowledge. They have different types of, you know, you see, and there is no woman.
Apostle, hold on right there.
We are going down.
Let me read one comment. Mommy is clapping her hands, and then Evangelist says that now we bring big kawan Evangelist, everybody is enjoying here in the studio. God bless you. And Mami Akosia said, this is how church should be. We're talking about these things shouldn't be a problem. Thank you, Apostle. And then Teresa Abuga is, I'm enjoying the discussions. Thank you very much, viewers. I'm learning a lot with the words from Pastor Ben, and then from the teachings from the Apostle General. Ubi Kikawan, Evangelist. This is, I'll come for more explanation about this thing. I will follow up with you, Apostle. You were saying that sex is an act, and then we have the art. We have the ACT, and then we have the ART.
That's right.
So how creative should we be during sexual intimacy, since now we are going the art, not the act, the art? So how should we be creative? Because I was listening to the news yesterday, and there was a house that they are selling in Pennsylvania, and in the house, the person, the owner of the house, has a basement that they have built a sex dungeon. They have all these handcuffs, they have all these swings, and people were crazy wanting to buy this house. And I know when it comes to our setting, it will be crazy. Like, for real, you are in the flesh now, you are carnal. Going to buy a house with sex dungeon, you are carnal. And a lady was saying that when people, like during sexual intercourse, there shouldn't be any Tunisia, like two but there, like you are here and you are here now, come and romance me. There should be Cambodia. There should be. There should be Cambodia. So how can we Cambodian? That is the art of it. How can we be creative in our sex life? I'm following up with you from what.
Okay, like
saying.
Pastor Lai said that when we are married, your body is your husband's, and the husband's body is the wife's, and we should not defraud any of ourselves, because it is only when husbands and wife don't do sex and do proper sex, the Bible calls it sin, and it also gives the enemy the chance to attack. You can come to the church and do all the kaboom and they ban you and then whatever, and when you get to your house and the husband want to do the thing and you deny her access, the devil takes over. And that is, the Bible calls it sin. And you have also defiled the bed. You understand that? So now when you are also ready to do, know that the more you let yourself go, the more you can reach orgasm early and fast. Stop saying that it takes a long time for you to come. It's because you have not prepared your mind enough. You know, when you prepare yourself, like Pastor Lai was saying, sex is you need to work. When your husband is at work, send him some good text. Take some pictures of your body and send it to him.
Hey.
Let him. I mean, it is done.
Set the mood.
It is done with the mind before even the body gets involved. The person can be lying by your side, and if the mind is not there, forget it. I mean, forget it. There would not be any what you call it, liftings and lifting up of hands and stuff like that. You get what I'm saying? So as we get into it, the styles comes on its own. The creativity comes on its own. I mean, the moment we get in, and you are in with the person that you are comfortable with, and you didn't get in with the selfish, what do you call it, mentality, and we are there to get ourselves to orgasm to a level where we will all feel for each other and then to enhance our relation. You get what I'm saying? The styles comes on its own. Naturally, there are three basic styles. There are three. All the rest takes a contingent or a tangent with the three.
Pastor Ben is laughing so hard.
There's a three basic. The Bible teaches three basics. But all the obtuse and the acute and the left, right angle, all them also are just.
But also, people like the missionary too much. The missionary style, that is.
Because religion have kept us
yes,
there.
because I was going to ask that thing. Like it looks like religion has prescribed your sex pattern or your sex life for you. Like I was talking to one lady and then she was saying that it's an elderly woman, and then she's saying that, oh, the only style that you have to do during sex is the missionary way. That is the prescribed one. Any other style is a sin.
Wow.
And somebody went to heaven and came and said that all other things, oral, whatever, all is sin. And we all go to hell. So I was looking at him like, oh, then heaven doors will be closed to many of us. So the door has closed, right? Oh, I know. I'm Maxwell. Maxwell, you are watching from UK. Maxwell is watching from UK. Thank you for tuning in, Maxwell. Love you. And Chantel is watching, and people are just laughing. It's good when we come out like this, yes, because the church or the religious institution has boxed the sex life and made it like a sin. When you talk about, oh, I turned my side, I did this, I'm like, no, this is sin. So let me ask you, prophetess, stop looking at me like this. Let me ask you, because it is believed or it's cultured that it's only men who have to initiate. So if you're a woman or if you're a wife and then you want to initiate, you perceive that your spouse will think that you were a spoiled lady, or forgetting that some of us were not angels.
We are not angels.
We are not angels. Some of us, we chill out and then we have knowledge about certain things. And then you meet your husband and then you want to do. So is it true that men should always initiate it? Like, even if you feel like enjoying yourself, you should contain it and wait till maybe 2 weeks when your husband is ready, and then your husband will call you, talk to me. Talk to your viewers.
It's not always the men, you know. The women also can also ask or, you know, create a scene or the mood to for your spouse or your partner to know that you are ready for it. One thing I learned is my father says something that is where we're coming from, our background. We don't want to learn. We just want to stick to where we're coming from, and this is the thing that always also open the door for other one of them to go out, or somebody show something like that to them, they go for it. And so I believe that it's a time that we need to let ourselves go. If you don't know, learn, create a scene. I mean, you have to ask. There's nothing wrong if you have feel it. There's nothing wrong to ask that you are, you know, ready for it. So I believe that as a Christians, we need to come to that place that it's not a sin, it's not a taboo for a woman to, you know, ask or ready for it. And like I said earlier on, we need to learn, you know, create in a scene. And some of us also, the way, let me chip this in, the way we carry ourselves. When we married, it's like, okay, that's it. You know, the man came home and, you know, even your dressing, everything is even putting him down. And so we need to, you know, carry ourselves to the extent that when the man sees
your body will be even asking of it.
Yes, you know, we need to be attractive even when we are home. Don't say that because, you know, now he's my husband, oh, now she's my wife, so that's nothing. And so I believe that we need to learn all those things and be in the position that our spouse or our partner cannot go outside somewhere and satisfy herself or himself.
Okay, thank you very much. Let me read. Today I promised that I will read the comment. So I'm going to read the comment. And there is an interesting question here that a viewer wants me to pose to panel. Ready? It's very interesting. I know Comfort Boama, you are watching. Hey, First Lady, I know you're watching. God bless you for tuning in. And Evangelist said, no, women can initiate sex. The man should play with the woman and find out what makes her reach her orgasm. She said, what makes her come? Find the spot that makes her see, that makes her say ish. Ish. Let me read it again. Evangelist is saying that men should always find a spot that will make the woman like get there. So you make it ish. It's like the aha moment. Yeah. And then Teresa Abuga is asking, hey, from Ghana. She's watching from Ghana. Nad, hey, how are you? She's saying, I'm enjoying the discussion. Ask him, is licking acceptable? Apostle, you were talking then. He said, yeah, I think so. Nad says I should ask you, Nadia.
Okay. Now, sex is about exploring your orgasm. Sex is about exploring your partner's body. like somebody writes and find out where what
The
you call
spot is,
the
so
spot
that
is.
you could
So
ish.
if the spot is down there and then it takes me to lick it like you said to get him to say ish, then it's exploring the body. Nothing stops us. Nothing. I mean, if it is in the ear, you will touch for him to feel the ish. Why not? In the bedroom when I'm with my spouse, everything is acceptable. Everything,
Inside
provided all of us are consent with it. You understand? And the body is not mine; it is his. And her body is also not, my body is not mine; it's hers. So it's about exploring the whole body. It's about exploring the whole body. If it takes you to explore that, do that to make him say ish.
Wow. Thank you so much.
Can I quickly add to that? I think, you know, we have to understand that we are not the same, right? We are different people. And we have to have a conversation around what is comfortable, what is, you know, acceptable to all of us.
Yeah.
And you can't say that, you know, somebody says it's only missionary, so that's the end of the story.
Yeah.
Where I come from,
It's not
missionary is not acceptable.
Yeah. The airplane.
Yeah, we
Or the
have
ship,
to.
submarine.
We have to be adventurous, like you know, Apostle was saying. When you eat the same food and you eat it the same way every time,
Every day, you tired of
how
it.
much do
Pleasure do you
you
get there?
crave for it? You know, give me a reason why I must come to this bed.
Wow.
Give me a reason why. You know, I'm going to live with you if God, you know, permits. Let's say we
60
married that.
years.
Yes. Give me a reason why every single time I must be thinking, what is he bringing? What is she going to do now? And who says that if my wife initiates sex, she's spoiled? Okay, so if she's spoiled for me. Let me keep it. If you don't know what you want, how can you expect the man or the woman to give you what will make you get to your pinnacle? You must ask what you want. You must say what you want. You must say how, you know, he or she touch you and how you want it.
How you
know.
feel.
Yes. That is part of the you know, I say that sex is actually a language. We are communicating. We are bringing ourselves, we are doing it because, you know, like Apostle would say, pleasure, right? We are doing it because of what we're going to get out of it. Much as it is not the intention that I'm only coming to get, I'm also coming to give.
Yeah.
And if I'm coming to give, I'm not going to be one way every time. Who is going to run home to you if every time down here? No.
It puts you off.
Yeah.
Like you come
Be
home and it's
spontaneous.
like,
Yeah.
let's go and do it quick.
Yeah.
No. There's time for
But there are
quickie,
times
you
there's
know.
quickies.
Yeah, there's
I
time.
mean,
The quick ones at times is
Yeah.
that time he said the man will tell you that, hey, if you do this, I will get up quickly. So then you do it, then he gets up quickly.
now, the producer, can we have a second part of this discussion? I'm talking to my producers. Can we have a second part of this discussion? Okay, they say yes. So viewers, we'll have a second part of this discussion because there are a lot we have to talk about, and then people are just sending in their comments and other things. And Reverend says that depending on you can come out with any style you want.
Absolutely.
So
Be adventurous.
You can also ask. Daddy was saying something, and in even Uber, right? When you're doing Uber, the moment you pick the passenger, they give you the address and everything. But when I was learning their course, I realized that you need to even ask the rider, although you have where or she or he going, but you need to ask him, please, do you have another route that you think is better? I can take
so to get your destination quick.
So I mean, you can ask your spouse, okay, Charlie, what do you want? Where do you want me to touch? If I touch this one,
can you save it there?
Or I can tell you, hey, you know, honey,
don't
touch
go here.
this place. I love when you touch this place. When you do this, I really love it. You know, these are all the things that we need to learn you know, to make.
Hold on there. I think viewers, producers will come up with a second part of the discussion because there are a lot we have to discuss about it. So we will come back in 30 seconds and we'll wrap up for today. And then next time we'll come part 2 of the same discussion as the producers have agreed to. Looking at the comments that are coming in and the questions that are coming in, we can't just leave viewers in a hanging boat like that, because we have to come up with how many times can you do it and where do you have to hang it and other stuff. So we'll be right back in 30 seconds.
Fulfilling destiny depends on the choice you make in life. Make a choice today. Join Destiny Impact Worldwide Inc. Watch Impact Hour on Back TV and live stream this Saturday at 1 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Hosted by Dr. Harriet J. And your life will never be the same. Destiny Impact Worldwide Inc. Shaping lives to fulfill purpose.
Welcome viewers to Impact Hour. Today's topic was sexual intimacy in marriage and relationship. And like I said, I asked my producers on live TV that if you can have a second part of this topic. And a viewer tuning, yes, we need the part 2 because they are not satisfied. They need part 2. And one reverend said, ask him what makes you come. Hey. My pastor, my friend, my sister, my viewer, we will discuss this in part 2 because it will take a long time, and we want to wrap up for today. I know we have exhausted our time. Wrap up today, and next time when we come on Impact Hour, we'll have a part 2 of the same discussion, starting with your question: what makes you come, or what makes you reach your orgasm? So now, Pastor Lai, coming to you. Can you I don't know even what to say because my mind is all over the place. In about 2 minutes, can you talk a little bit so that next time when we come, we'll come on the air, we'll talk about it. How do we keep our sex life in marriage continuous or strong or healthy and strong in just about 2 minutes so that next time we come on, we talk about it more.
In Genesis chapter 4 verse 1, Bible talks about Adam knew his wife Eve and she conceived. We have to dwell with each other with knowledge. We have to know, each other in order to keep this thing, live it and, make it enjoyable throughout the length of our life, as a couple. It's very important for us to understand that the way you keep yourself, right, your mindset, the environment in which we live, right, also all these contribute to having a healthy, sexual relationship. Not everyone, will like the lights on. Not everyone will want total darkness. We have to have a conversation around what works for us. Somebody doesn't like, to hear any kind of sound. Otherwise, they're just out of it, right? Somebody wants to hear some light music in the background. Let's talk. Let's have a conversation. Know each other. Know each other's need. For what it's worth, we are coming from different places. What we have experienced are different. Now we are coming to make our own life, right? And so let's talk about our experiences. Let's not prejudge anyone. Let's not preset, that my husband should behave like the guy I saw on Baywatch, or my wife should have a body or
like bold and beautiful.
Yeah, So let's have the conversation and let's encourage each other, to put ourselves in position where, I will be desirous of you, you will be desirous of me. After all, I want to say that sex is like, food for the body. In a relationship, in a marriage, sex or intimacy on the sexual level is like the air, right? That keeps the fire burning of your relationship, your marriage, burning. And the more you do it, the better you should become at it. I said should. It doesn't mean that just doing it makes you better. But as you're doing it, find out what is happening, how things are happening, why something is happening, why something didn't work. And then figure out a way to, make the corrections, make the adjustments, and, continue to do it and do it better. Sex is great. In marriage, it is the best thing.
Prophetess, 2 minutes. Sex is great. In marriage,
It's the best thing.
it's the best thing. I love it.
The little I will add to what my father said. He said something that, where we're coming from and all that. But I will say it again that we need to give ourselves to learn and make this sex healthy. He says something that what will make him is, expecting that, okay, where is she bringing it, or what? So we need to create, the environment. Yes, how, like he said, you eat the same food every day. So you need to be creative. So when the man sees you, he can't wait.
Today I will eat a benquine, tomorrow I will eat.
Yes,
Yeah.
you're always coming out with something
great.
new. Not too much, but something little that will
Spice
bond,
the thing.
Yes, together to make your partner to, feel like coming to you all the time.
Okay.
So this is what I can.
Apostle, 2 minutes.
Okay. There's this lady that I met some time ago, who's a teacher. And then the husband, he tells me a lot about the husband. My husband is this, my husband is this, but I can't, the reason why I'm still with the man is that I can't find them. I don't think I'll get a man who puts me into that pinnacle like Pastor Lai says, like him. Having walked around for a while, having been in a little bit relationship with that, the way that man puts me over there, because of that, I even ignore the silly things he does.
Wow.
What am I telling you? Sex is about pleasure, and the pleasure, the ultimate of the pleasure is orgasm. There is a saying that every woman will chase a man that gets him there. And will not let him go. Men, don't. My little advice is that don't let it be like I'm just going to go in and come in. You have not started the school yet to even graduate. It's about a whole institution that you need to graduate. And don't boast that I'm good and I'm doing that. Let the woman say it. And let the man also tell you that, Adjoa, you are crazy. You are good, and that kind of stuff. So, and after it all, to keep it going, talk about it. Your previous encounters, talk about it. All right, the way you did it the other, that it was crazy. I was thrilled. Beloved, no woman will let a man that climaxes him go. Neither would the man that makes leave a woman that enjoys his climaxes. That's it. So be climax or orgasm conscious when it comes to sex.
Wow. Thank you, my panel. Thank you very much. It has been an interesting and educative program. And like we said, the producers have agreed, and executive producer have agreed to let us have part 2 of sexual intimacy. So next time that we come on, please tune in, Back TV, subscribe, share on YouTube, and let's have a talk. Because like Pastor Ben said, sex is good, but in marriage, it is great. Don't ignore sex in your marriage life. Talk about it, think about it, fantasize about it. Send crazy love messages to your spouse. Let him or her know that you are on, so that it's when the moment they come home, the atmosphere is already set. Don't think about, oh, the church. No. He said, whatever pleases both of you in the bedroom, in the kitchen, in the car, wherever you want. Enjoy it. Until I come your way next time on Impact Hour, that has been your host, Dr. Harriet. See you, I love you, and you stay blessed.